Hey YouTube, so this is just a video I'm gonna do. Kind of have this on my brain today. This is for people who just bought a Chinese chainsaw or are thinking of it. So you're going forums and you say, "Hey, I want to buy a Chinese chainsaw." Um, People say, "Well, why don't you spend money on a Husky or a Steel or a Johnson Red, um, Makita, whatever." They are fine saws, but I mean, you get into the lower entry ones, and they're probably below the quality of these, or have less performance than these. Some of these aren't all made the same, though. There is that. You can go online, like the Salem Master has good reviews. The Submix ones, the Radley from Home Hardware, they all seem to be good. And people are going to say, "You're a Chinese chainsaw, they can't make anything." And you know what I say to those people that say the Chinese clones are garbage, they can't make anything? This is what I gotta say to them. This is a Chinese-made Remington 870 clone. Remington parts fit in it. But here's the thing. The steel on these ones is actually better than the American-made Remingtons. These ones do not jam shells and get stuck in the chamber like the American-made ones. I've never had a problem with this gun. I've had this, it's got an 8.5-inch barrel on it. I put a lot of rounds through this, not a single problem. I can't say the same for the 3 Remington 870s that were made in the last 20 years that I've owned, because they've been actually subpar junky guns. This is higher quality. This is a better gun, but a fraction of the price. The only thing about this is the stock is a little heavier, but I can change that out. I don't mind the weight because it's a 8.5-inch barrel. If you have 3-inch Magnum slug, you like all that weight. But anyways, now who should buy one of these? The one worry with these saws is there could be quality control issues, and that can happen with any saws. The only thing with this is you can't take it to your local steel dealer. They'll probably be like, "Oh, we don't work on crap like that." And fair enough. There's a lot of stuff on the internet, on YouTube, about how to fix them on Facebook pages. They do have common issues, but when you get one of these, if you are mechanically inclined, like you've taken apart chainsaw before, what you need to know about these is that some of them, recoil starters, some of them are shit. And example, the ones that look like this, with the easy start, avoid them. Avoid them like the plague. The one saw I have, the Beijing Banshee, after I did the gasket lead right to the compression, like on the 3rd pull, this thing grenaded. And what grenaded it? This little plastic stud that the pulley rides on, she broke free from out here on this one. It's back together. I did a real hillbilly fix. I actually put a screw and used epoxy, and you can fix that like that. Like, you see what I mean? If you have a washer or something, you epoxy on there and screw through it, it'll hold it. It'll make it stronger than it was. But then I started buying these ones as spares. They're not the easy start. I can stand the easy start, but all these seem to have it. This one does too. Feels weird. Feels like you're pulling a bungee cord. I like these ones. I've had good luck with these ones. They seem a little stronger. They do make aluminum housing ones, but they're hard to find for cheap. I think the Salem Master, Zachary can correct me on this, but I think the 6220G has an aluminum starter housing. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, so that's one thing to look out for. That's the only thing I've ever had break on one of these. Some of them, I have 2 that have carbs with the weird adjustment screws. I actually ordered separate carbs that have more conventional flat blade adjuster screws, and that's something if you ever have to tune them. But people complain about the chain stretching, but you know what? All new chain stretch, as long as they don't break. All the ones I've had, the chains, yeah, they stretch at the beginning, but they seem to be perfectly okay. So yeah, like this one was a more expensive one. It's actually really nice quality. It's got bigger dogs than some of the other ones have. But I've actually never done this one. But I might do mods to it, and not sure what, because this is the cylinder out of the original cylinder of the Beijing Banshee that but if we get one of these saws, if you really want to get some power, and it's almost free power. Like, if you have a Dremel tool. Like, don't need a timing wheel even. So what you do is you pull off the cylinder, take the gasket that came on, throw it in the fucking garbage. You get yourself a good sealant like MotoSeal, Yamabond, Loctite basically. You want to make sure it's good for gas. But MotoSeal by Permatex is a good product, and get rid of that gasket. Now this is going to lower the cylinder about a 32nd, which is good for the intake, not so much good for the exhaust. So take a Dremel tool and just raise the exhaust slightly. If you don't go too crazy, just go about what the thickness of that gasket was, and then the exhaust height will basically be where it was before. Transfers, they could open them up, don't have to raise them, you can just widen them, but the thing is, because the transfers are lower, more crankcase pressure will build as this piston's coming down, so you'll have more pressure. So I don't think that's that big of an issue. But I mean, like on mine, I'll widen the transfers, I'll even lower the intake a little bit, but that's, if you don't want to get that far involved, don't, because why bother? And these things are cheap. Piston cylinder you can get for 20 bucks. To your door from China. That's fucked up, isn't it? Super cheap. But as far as parts go to AliExpress. Just like buy extra crank seals. You can get a set of crank seals for these for like $1, and that's shipped to your door. I don't know how they do it. And like other mufflers, like this one has one of the EPA crappy mufflers on it. I have another one coming that's the 3-hole. But yeah, it's Chinese chainsaws are bang for your buck. The cheapest of the cheap though will have starter covers that look like this, without a piece of metal I hillbillied on there. And avoid these ones. This starter right here, this was the first replacement. This thing broke on the second fucking pull. This was a different issue. It was like missing the keeper. Like it was fucking weird. But anyways, I'm done my rambling for today. But yeah, if you're thinking about buying one of these, by all means buy it. Just be aware if you're not good or mechanically inclined at all. Buy extra starters. But think, if you're not mechanically inclined and can't maintain a chainsaw, you could spend $1,000 on a Husqvarna XP model, and it'd still be crap because it'll leave fuel in it and stuff like that. Like people, I've collected chainsaws for a long time. You get all these old chainsaws, and it's always the same problem. People have fuel in them, no, they won't run. People never fucking clean them out, and they have problems. It's all about maintenance, really. That's a big thing in owning a chainsaw. Anyways, YouTube, that's it. I have to go to the Game 4 of the Battle of Alberta, Calgary Flames versus Edmonton Oilers. I'm not a huge hockey fan, but it'll be a good time. We have good seats at work, we get free food and stuff, so we got the boss's credit card, so there might be some beers to be had. Anyways, YouTube, take it easy.